Hi folks, Coach Ribaudo here again, and tonight I want to talk about special teams a little more. In our last segment we talked about the philosophy of special teams. Tonight I want to talk about teaching special teams and what are some of the things we do when we teach special teams at Evelyn Christian University. I have about 10 or 12 points I want to touch on that are very important to us. The first point is this: we want to teach the guys, we teach them what to do, how to do it, and why it's important. Teach them what to do, how to do it, and why it's important. Obviously, you teach them what to do. And then a lot of us also teach how to do it. Let's take kick return, for example. What to do? Well, you're going to drop back to the 35 as fast as you can. You're going to snap your hips. You're going to get square, and you're going to block the cover man that you're assigned to. That's what to do and how to do it. Now, we like to talk about why it's important. Why is it important to sprint back to your target? Why is that important? To put as much distance as possible between you and your opponent, the cover man. That'll give you more time to adjust to him and get you moving in the right direction. Why is it important to get square? It's important to be square so you don't give him a free run. He has to go to one side or the other, pick a side. He has to move lateral. If he moves lateral, we could wash him out. That's important because if two guys get a good washout, it creates a lane. So we like to go that extra step and show them why. Not only what to do and how to do it, but why it's very important that you stay square. Why it's important you get him moving lateral and slow down his feet. We spend a lot of time in film, talking about the why. We like to do the what and how to on the field and in meetings, and then when we do film review, it's the why. The next point is what you reinforce, you will get. That's a common thing in all sports, but really in specials it's really important because you don't have much time to practice specials or even film time with specials. Some of you have no film time for specials. Some of you have 7 minutes a week to get kickoff coverage in, so you can't reinforce everything. You teach everything the best you can, but you need to reinforce that one thing or those two things that are really important. Like on our kickoff coverage, the one thing that I'm always harping on is run fast, run fast. Run fast. Never slow down your feet. I don't even say it that way. I don't say never slow down your feet. I always say keep your feet moving. Always keep your feet moving as fast as you can. You don't even want to stutter step. You want to keep the turnover the same, like you're running a 100-yard dash. Always move towards your target. The last thing I'll tell them before the kickoff takes the field, the last thing I'll remind them is, hey, run fast. Run fast. I'm yelling it as the whistle's blowing, as they're taking off. And consequently, we run pretty fast. That's the one thing that's stuck in their head. Now, there's other things to teach, but the one thing I want on kickoff coverage, the one thing we have to have, is them running fast. So that's what we really reinforce. On kick return, it would be stay square, shimmy block, be square, be square, be square. So we pick out those one or two things and we all harp on it, the whole staff. So what you reinforce is what you'll get. So pick something that's really critical to that particular team. On PAT protection, on our field goal team, it's punch. We want that punch. We think if we could get that two-handed punch, we got a good shot. So we scream punch, 1,000 times a week for PAT field goal. It's the one thing we want to really reinforce. The next point is do it so many times they can't get it wrong. You want to do things over and over and over and over and over, just like any aspect of football or sports. But the thing about specials is you can't get too complicated. We don't do very much at all because we want to get reps, mental reps, film reps, on the field reps. We want them to do it so many times that they can't get it wrong. If one of our guys, if our players are making mental mistakes, I have too much on. I have too many schemes on. Got to cut down those schemes. If they're making mental busts, you got too much on, in my humble opinion. If they're making physical busts, well, that could be a couple things. Maybe they just can't do it. Maybe they're just not the right guy for that job. They're getting out physical, which happens. Or maybe we haven't drilled it enough. I haven't given them enough drills. I haven't given them enough tools in their toolbox to get it done. I need to go back and drill it. It's not just running live team reps on specials. There's plenty of drills to do to help improve, just like drilling a linebacker or a DB or a wide receiver. So if they're busting mentally, I have too much on. If they're busting physically, they either can't do it or I haven't repped them enough in drills to make them be able to do it. So we want to do it so many times they can't get it wrong. Okay, another principle is you're either coaching it or letting it happen. So if I see a guy that's not sprinting to his target on kickoff return, not getting square for that shimmy block, we'll go to the position coach, whoever's coaching that position, and it ultimately is on my shoulders. I'm either letting that happen or I'm coaching it. Now, I know we're not coaching it, so we're letting it happen. So that's just something we picked up from Mike Leach. Mike Leach when he was at Texas Tech. You're either coaching it or you're letting it happen. So that's a nice saying we use. Another point is there's 3 speeds we use. We use teaching speed, learning speed, full speed. Teaching speed is a walk and talk. Learning speed is jogging and half speed. And then there's full speed. So we have 3 speeds and we do them all throughout the course of the week. We do teaching speed, learning speed, and full speed. Full speed a lot is on Thursdays. Teaching and learning speed is on Tuesday and Wednesday. To go along with that is the next point. We use the part-whole method as far as teaching. Tuesday and Wednesday is a lot of drill work. Like, for example, kick return. The back will be doing wedge timing. The backfield, the front line will be doing their either one-on-one drills or shimmy block drills. And we'll do a lot of drills on that day. And then on Thursday, we put it all together and we do a lot of team stuff. So we break it down into its parts and then we put it together and do the whole. We don't just do team stuff all the time. We do the part-whole method. We want to break it down as far as we can with the time that we have and teach those individual skills and then put it all together, just like any aspect of football, just like offense and defense of football. The next point is fundamentals. To me, there are fundamentals of football are feet, hips, hands, and eyes. On everything we do, we'll freeze it on a shimmy block or trying to dodge or get off a block on kickoff coverage, and we'll freeze it at the point, the moment of truth, the point of contact, or if you will, and we'll say, okay, now where are your feet, where are your hips, where are your hands, where are your eyes. For example, on shimmy block, your feet need to be underneath your shoulders, they need to be square to your target, your hips need to be underneath you and they need to be bent, your hands need to be on the breastplate, your eyes need to be lower than his. Okay, feet, hips, hands, and eyes. Those things never change. Where are your feet when you're trying to get off a block? Your feet need to be square, your hips need to be under you, your hands need to be on the breastplate, and your eyes need to be below his eyes. So there's a lot of carryover. You coach in circles a lot of times in specials, but that's what we're always looking for correction. I always tell the coaches, hey, coach from the ground up. Start at his feet, then go to his hips, his hands, his eyes. When we're making corrections, how come he's not doing it? We'll start at his feet. How do his feet look? Then how are his hips? How are his hands? How are his eyes? And that goes to the next point. Fundamentals don't change. Techniques do. There's a billion different ways to block on kickoff return. There's a billion different ways to block on punt return. There's a lot of different ways to do kickoff coverage, but the fundamentals don't change. Techniques will change in football. They always do. But fundamentals won't change. Feet, hips, hands, and eyes, they are pretty constant. That's a pretty constant thing in football. And a lot of times it comes down to feet square underneath your shoulders, hips underneath you and bent, hands somewhere in the chest, breastplate area, and then your eyes are lower than his, your eyes are in his armpit, your eyes are on his chest, wherever they may be, but the fundamentals don't change. Techniques will. So let's focus on the fundamentals. Another point is this: win with people. On special teams, you win with people. Got to have the right people. I know that's a cliche. The whole team, your football team, you're going to win. If your guys are better than their guys, you're going to win. But on specials, what I mean is win with people is you got to have the right people in the right place. And I'm not talking return man. That's easy. That's easy. The return guy needs to be a special guy. But you got to have, if you're going to do a punt return, you've got to have a few guys that can really, really block. We call it a lag block. That can really block that guy down the field. You take your best guys and put them on their best guys. And you're going to have 3 or 4 on the team that really do it well. If you want to block a kick, you've got to get your best kick blocker on their worst blocker. So you win with people on specials. Just like anything else, it's matchups. And you have to use your people. And you have to figure that out. That's a long process on figuring out where your people fit, who are the best pieces of that puzzle. And you have to grade that, I think. A lot of times I spend a lot of years just saying, hey, I think he'd be good at this, or I think he'd be good at that. And we'd try it, and we'd waste time, oh, he's not good. Who do we think would do that well? Instead of grading the drills, grading the competition drills, seeing who can do it, grading it off of film, and then plugging those guys in that way. Just like you do with O-line and D-line and anything else. It takes a lot of time, though, but you win with people. Another thing we always tell the kids is when you get the ball, get spiritual. You know, like if we recover a kickoff, that's a spiritual thing, man. We want to really get excited. I want everybody on that guy's hat. That's a game changer on specials. You recover a fumble or down a punt, you know, a fumbled punt or something in their own territory. Oh, that's time. That's time to get spiritual, man. Get after it. Get after it. Get excited, man. You just changed the game. That's a game breaker. That's a game changer. So let's be excited about that. And then one of the last points is practice routine. Routine is very important in specials because you don't have much time to work. So those kids need to know what's coming. Every Tuesday we do this and this. And we do punt and we do kickoff coverage drills. And they know. We do punt drills, kickoff coverage drills. And they know what the drills are. They know how they're going to work. They know why we do them. And it's a routine. So they know what's coming. And you can see the progress as the season goes on. Practice routine drills. That's very important. You know, routine is a very good teaching tool. The armed forces use it. You know, they are so regimented in their routine. They could take a young 17, 18-year-old kid and in anywhere from 8 to 13 weeks, depending on what branch, because of the routine and the discipline that they teach them, those guys are ready to go into their units, into combat, and so on and so forth. That's an extreme case, but that's what routine will do for you. Routine will build confidence. Routine will build trust. Routine can build execution. So routine is very important, and our practice routine doesn't change much at all from week to week because we don't have much time. We need to perfect some of the fundamentals. We need to perfect some of the things that are going to help us be successful. So these are some of the things that we use as far as our teaching tools when we're teaching special teams. So we've covered our philosophy and our teaching of special teams. There's a lot more to it, but these are some of the main points that we want to remember as coaches throughout the week, throughout the season, and even during spring football and so on and so forth that help us stay focused on the goals for each special team. I hope that helps, and thank you for your attention.